Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another session with the older man. Today, my friends, we're going to dive into a serious subject again. It's going to be a good one. It's a problem that most men have, most married men, most men who are in committed relationships. And it's the problem of when women cut off or diminish the sex to a point where it's not even, it's nothing to call home about. She's just doing it for the sake of doing it. And, I guess this is part 2 of one of my other videos I've done on sexless marriages. I just thought I'd do this particular video because there's so many men out here who've been calling me from all over the world, married men, men who have divorced, who've had this exact same problem. Now, I've never given the solution to it until today. I'm going to give it to you in this video. It just so happened that 7 days ago, I saw a video by the Rational Male, Mr. Rollo Tomasi. He covered this on his channel as well. And because he's such an amazing guy on working out the specifics on what's going through females' heads mentally. So I thought, I would bring a bit of his video in and also add my 2 cents to it. And listen, guys, if I'm sounding a little nasally right now, for some reason my allergies just kicked in. Just as I decided to come in bloody do the video, this is what happens. I don't know what's going on here in Dubai. It's amazing that the second the weather starts to change, my allergies or my sinuses, one of those kicks in. And now I'm dealing with this right now because the weather it's starting to cool down significantly here now. And here's the thing, side note, as we get older, we have to be very aware of where we go and live because the air, the environment will play a significant role on your health, right? Over here, one of the bad things about living in Dubai is it's in the desert. So there's a lot of very small particles of sand that blows in the air that you don't even see, you don't even feel it, but you're inhaling it and it's going and it's sticking into your lungs. And it's not very good for you. I come from an island, very small island, where literally it's a tropical island. It rains a lot, so there's not a lot of dust in the air. And number 2, it's near the ocean, so everything just blows right across the island, right? So I've never had problems until I moved here with my sinuses or respiratory system. Just a side note. All right, so all I'm asking is, excuse me if I sniff a few times, all right? So, guys, subscribe if you haven't already, please. And, of course, if you're having problems with your marriage or anything that you need help with, mentoring, book a chat with me over on askanolderman.com. Or, just as important, come on over and join our membership system where you can meet like-minded people. Now, let's get into this episode today, my friends. All I can say, gentlemen, ladies, the calls are coming in and the men are crying who are in marriages. And these are guys who've been married anywhere between 3 years and 12 years, where women have literally just turned off the sex. And one of the big things about marriages is that you hope to at least conserve the sex when you're in marriages, man. But this isn't the case. You never get married, never ever get married thinking that you're going to have the best sex for the rest of your life. Get that illusion out of your freaking heads, okay? Women will make you think that, but it's a bullshit lie. It never, ever works. I have not met many women or men in a marriage who say the sex is amazing. And I can tell you the ones who boast about it, a lot of them are lying. One of the 2 parties are lying. It's rarely the case. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. So don't come at me, oh, my sex life is amazing and we've been married 30 years. The possibilities of that happening is, hey, listen, if it's happening, great for you, but please be honest. But I would like to talk to both parties. I want to know if it's good for the other party or if it's just one party pretending. I'm just saying, okay? But I am happy if it's working for you guys. But based on the amount of men who are calling in and literally reporting the problem, the number 1 problem is their sex life. Number one problem. And everything else stems from there. Every time a guy talks to me about the problems that he's having in his relationship, I always ask, So are you guys having sex? 99.99% of the time, the man will say, barely. She gives it to me maybe once every 2 months, once every 3 months. Oh, I haven't had sex in 6 months, etc. Okay? I took a few notes, so that's why I'm going to refer back to my notes here. But I want to make sure that I cover everything here. So back in the day, when I first got married, my father said, be careful of the 7-year itch. Now, neither of my previous marriages got over 7 years. I've even got over 4 years. But he always warned about the 7-year itch. So men back then understood that usually around the 7-year mark, that's when either one or both parties start to sexually disconnect. That's the best way to put it. And you'll get bored, restless. Usually men will go out and cheat, or the woman will go out and find a lover. The reality of life, But of course, we know that that's not the solution. That's not the solution for the marriage, right? So usually it's the woman that turns off. Here's the thing. I had to look at other cultures because I want to understand, is this thing, does it only happen in Western cultures where the sex is diminished? And I was watching a program on CNN where one of the CNN reporters, I think it was Gimo, she did a whole expose on sex around the world. Don't hold me to her name, but it was a CNN reporter that did it. I'm going to leave it at that. She was interviewing people in Japan, and one of the traits in Japan, apparently, is that once a couple is married, they no longer have sex, the husband and wife. They don't have it as often as they should, or they rarely do. And they both recognize that they are now family. So they almost become brothers and sisters after the kids have come into play. And I just found this unusual. But I realized that this is a universal thing. Because once the woman have had the kids, her sexual desires usually drops significantly. Hormonally, she changes. Happened in my wife. I had to freaking nip that in the butt, right? It happened to my sisters. It happened. Many men. I would say 95% of men said that the sex dropped after the kids came. So we know that something hormonally happens in women. As Rollo said here in this interview, he said, the glue that keeps a marriage together is sex. It's very, very important. So after the sex has dropped off, what do men do? What do men do? Men get to the negotiating stage. We start to look at, okay, well, what do I do to get it back? Because we're problem solvers, right? Now, the thing is, I don't want Rollo to think I'm taking his words, but this is universal. Men will negotiate, and men will start to freaking rationalize. Happened with me. I sat my wife down and said, all right, listen, how do we solve this problem? How do we solve it? Because you don't feel like doing it as often as we used to. We used to go at it like rabbits. And she said, well, hormonally, it's always about the hormones. And I had to understand this. But the other thing she said, and this is what happens with a lot of women, is that, well, he's not as romantic as he used to be. He don't even have foreplay. He just wants to jump on and just do it, and it turns me off, and he just don't want to, and he don't do anything around the house, and I'm tired all the time. And then these bunch of excuses come up. So men are now forced to negotiate for sex with his wife. Do you think that's fair, ladies? Before, there was no negotiation. Before the marriage, you were just ready to do it. You were in it. You were ready. I don't care where it is. Back of the car, in the toilet, doesn't matter. In the kitchen, on the kitchen counters, over the sofa. Wherever you guys were and there was some privacy, you guys were doing it. That's what a man expects right through his marriage. Especially when he comes home from work, and especially when, life is kicking his ass. He wants to know that his wife is there to relieve some of his frustration. Yeah. But let's listen to what Rollo says.
Other times, a married couple may go to marriage counseling, as I was saying before, that's the part you forgot, to resolve their sex issues and negotiate terms for her sexual compliance. He'll promise to do the dishes and a load of laundry more often in exchange for a feigned sexual interest in him, right? Because remember what I said, negotiation only leads to obligated compliance. There you go. Yet no matter what terms are offered, no matter how great an external effort he makes so deserving of reward, the genuine desire is not there for her. In fact, she feels worse for not having the desire after such efforts were made for her compliance. Women tend to feel guilty when a guy starts making efforts. He actually does make some, I'm going to start, hey, and I'm actually going out there. I'm changing the diaper. I'm doing the things you said you wanted me to do. And she still doesn't feel it for him. We went to marriage counseling. We did all these things. We agreed to this. We sat down at the negotiation table, like a hostage negotiation, right? We sat down at the table and we negotiated these things. And I'm supposed to fuck him because he is honestly making an effort. He's doing what he said he was going to do. And I still don't it doesn't make me wet. I still don't want to fuck this guy. Why? Okay.
And this is the thing. It doesn't matter how much you negotiate, gentlemen. If she don't desire you, she don't get turned on by you anymore. You can't negotiate that shit. She can comply, be like a robot, but she's not a professional sex worker. You will probably get better performance from a professional who's used to doing it on a daily basis. Man, you guys are going to come at me. You ladies are going to come at me. But you have to understand what's going on here. Men need sex. Not want. Need. Without it, everything else collapses around him. But now you have an amazing negotiating tool, an amazing tool that will bring him into submission. And he can't get out of it because he's married. That means if he files for divorce, you're going to take half of his shit. You are in the better position. So most men will just comply.
So women tend to feel guilty even when the guy actually has some form of compliance, right? It's because of this. Negotiated desire only ever leads to obligated compliance. This is why duty sex will never fly, especially in the 21st century. Duty sex is a dead end. And again, I brought this up on Pat Campbell's show as late as 2018, I think. I remember, God, I was on there and I remember Carly, was it? I forget her, Carly something. Carly was his producer in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I remember I said, sex is the glue that holds a relationship together. And God, you could hear this collective gasp in the studio, like, oh, I can't believe you just said that. Right? I'm like, because amongst women want to believe that marriage is more than just fucking. They do. They really want to think that there's something else. It's the Bible or it's God or it's something else.
There's a higher purpose.
There's a higher purpose. It's the kids. It's the family. It's the dog in the yard. And it's like, yeah, I'm glad that's important. That is important. But all of that is downstream from you sucking.
Yeah. And surprisingly, so many men believe this as well. Oh, you got to be able to look at it from a God perspective and blah, blah, blah. Even though the Bible clearly says you should be having sex with your husband. Okay? I'm sure you know where to find the passage. I'm not going to name Bible passages. Okay? Point is, the woman will find every excuse to justify her actions. But yet she'll end up sleeping with the pastor, sleeping with the guy at the church. Trust me, I know. I grew up very religious. You want to get laid? You go to church. And who's giving it up? The majority of the people are the married women. So don't tell me otherwise. I know, sure. I've been there. I've seen the fights. So all I'm saying to you is that don't get so caught up in this idea of the religion and the bigger picture of the marriage. All of that is fine, but the glue, like he said, is the sex. Without that intimacy, you just have a friendship. And listen, if you wanted a friendship, you shouldn't have signed that freaking paper, which obligates that person to you. And if you signed a paper and it was for business, you should have just gotten a business partner, open a company together, and put each other's name in the company and buy shit together in each other's name. But you're obligated to work your ass off for her as a husband. And in return, she should comply with giving you affection and feel happy about it. But if that turns off, then what? Not because she don't want to, not because she's doing it deliberately. Some women do that. But because she don't have the desire, she don't feel like. That's a different story, because that's what we're talking about. You no longer turns her on. Let's hear what else Rollo has to say.
It really is. And with just wanton, lustful, visceral, carnal, monkey sex abandon. That's what it's so much. You need to fuck him so much that porn doesn't even enter into his brain. You want to have all this important stuff when it comes to family and grandkids and Thanksgiving dinner and all this love and this going to church and having this nice nuclear family. Oh, that's great. 100% agree with you. Start fucking him. That's all it takes. All it takes. I can't believe he's got a porn addiction. I can, because you're not fucking him. You're not fucking him with the same intensity he has to bring every day to his burden of performance. And if he's the guy that you say, I could never do any better than this guy. He's so fucking awesome. Why are you not fucking him like you could never do any better than him and he's so fucking awesome? Why? I don't know. I just don't feel it. He doesn't look like Aquaman. Okay.
And now he said that, but this is the biggest problem in today's modern society. Too many women have had too much sex before they got into marriage. So remember I said before, in the older days, the itch, be careful of the 7-year itch, was my father's warning. In today's modern society, usually that's 6 months to 3 years. Usually by 6 months after the woman have freaking gotten that ring on her finger, men have said, listen, the sex has just been turned off. She no longer has sex with me. So it's not even after the kids anymore. It's after she has secured the man. Hold that thought in your head. After she has secured the man, after that freaking document has been signed, it's almost like, this is one of the reasons why women gain weight after they get married. Let themselves go. They feel like, yeah, I got him now. Okay, I'm good. I could just be an asshole right now. I don't have to give him any more sex. I don't have to do. He's working his ass off. I'm being taken care of. I'm good. Yeah, I got to do my little part-time work, but I got a roof over my head and he's bringing in the majority of the money. That's the problem, my friends.
He doesn't look like Aquaman. Okay. This is why, so negotiated desire only ever leads to obligated compliance. This is why her post-negotiation sexual response is so often so lackluster and the source of even further frustration on his part. She may be more sexually available to him, but the half-hearted experience is never the same as when they first met and there was no negotiation, just spontaneous desire for each other. When guys hit me up and they're like, Rolo, I lost the frame. I've lost my frame with the girl. I don't know how to get it back. How do I get the frame back? Right? How do I get the desire? Really what they're asking me is, how do I get her to desire me? How do I get her to want to fuck me again? I get guys who are still married. They've been in marriages longer than mine, right? And they are in sexless marriages and have been so for, that's one of the reasons I started Reignite, right?
I mean, he's going to go into what you're going to do. Here's my suggestion. Self-improvement is number one. Do not ever get fat in your relationship. Don't get fat as a man. So self-improvement, stay busy, stay focused, stay up on your shit. Well-groomed, smell good, look good, you're fit. Moi. I take care of my shit. Myself first. Okay? So that will be no excuse for my wife to say, well, you got so fat, you gained weight. And you know what? She can't have that excuse. And I don't have that excuse with her. She stays in shape. Okay? Listen, man, we had a silent agreement in our marriage. It was just said. It wasn't written in there. But if either of us gained weight, substantial amount of weight without being sick, it was definitely grounds for divorce. And we live by that rule. Okay. So second thing is avoid subserviency. Okay. Don't be subservient. A lot of you guys think that you got to negotiate your way into sex. Like Rolo said, it does not work. When you negotiate and comply, it doesn't turn her on. Remember, gentlemen, don't listen to what a woman say. You must always look and see what she responds to. I don't freaking do this shit about, oh, you got to do this. Yeah, my wife tried that shit in the past. Didn't work. No. I did a few things and I realized she wasn't responding in the way that she should have responded, and I just stopped doing it. I learned from that. And then she started complaining, same thing. And listen, I just stopped doing it because I realized that that's not going to turn her on. The problem is a lot simpler than you guys. Stay to the end, gentlemen. I'll tell you what the secret is. Focus on being real, man. Just focus on being you. She married you. Don't try to pretend and change to be somebody else. Don't do that shit. If you weren't doing all of that shit in the past, don't do it now. Don't start being a nice guy. You know how that shit works. You got to learn to freaking treat her like Chad will treat her. Chad will bend her over the couch. He'll throw her ass on the top of the car. He will grab her in the back seat. These are the things that gets her excited. So you guys have to understand, you do not be the nice guy. You cannot be the romantic guy. Women don't want romance when it comes to sex. She will tell you that shit, but it's a lie because she don't respond to that. Flowers and all of that shit. Okay, you do that once. You think she's going to respond to that again the second time? No, she's not. God forbid, don't try it a third time. Don't let these sitcoms and these freaking movies freaking blow up in your freaking face, man. Don't let these things fool you. It's a freaking lie. Women do not respond to that shit. That is not what turns her on. She wants to be treated like a bee. Most of the time, women just want to be, that's what they respond to. They don't like to say it out loud. They hate to say the nasty things out loud because it doesn't make them look good. And I'll get pushback on this comment right now because I know every woman's going to, we don't want to be treated like animals. We don't want it. Oh, bullshit. Stop your crap. That's what Chad's been doing to you. That's what you grew up with. You didn't grow up with some guy, buying you roses and walks on the beach and suddenly, stopping and having beautiful intimate sex with sunsets and shit. No, you didn't do that. There was some guy freaking in the back seat of a car, and it was the most exciting thing that you'd ever done. It's guys in the nightclub, in the bathroom. We know this. So understanding the desired, the dynamics, and the communication. So when you're married now, you guys just have to communicate the desires. What is it, baby, that turns you on? What do you want to know? What is it that I should do? What is it that and have honest discussions. And ladies, if you want to freaking preserve your marriage, you need to be honest. Honest. Don't come with the shit about, I want roses. Why can't you buy me something every weekend or on a weekend and we go somewhere special? No, you don't want that shit. Yeah, once in a while we can do that, but we can't afford that every freaking week. And I need my sex more than every week. So we need to come up with another solution that doesn't cost you money. So cut that shit out. Randomness is what works. Random. When she hasn't showered, bend it over. Jump on it. Woman, stop this shit about, I haven't taken a shower yet. I'm disgusting. No, cut that out. Get in there. Make him dig it up. If that's what he wants, that's what he wants. I always remember this one statement. Napoleon Bonaparte. Yeah, I think it was Napoleon. When the war was over and he was coming back from the battlefield, he would send a guy forth to the palace to tell his wife, his main wife, listen, I'll be home in 4 or 5 days or a week. And she knows that she should not shower before he comes because he enjoyed her natural scent. And he didn't want that masked by any of the perfumes and shit that they put on. Most men love a woman's natural scent. That's part of us as animals. We love that. Today's day and age, a lot of us are just masking our naturalness, and we need to stop that. You know the saying, women will break the rules for the alphas and make rules for the betas. When you become a beta, the wife is now starting to make rules for you. If you were an alpha when you guys met, she didn't make rules for you. No, she broke all the rules. So don't make her start making rules for you now. Women only make rules for betas. So if she's telling you that, you have to do this and you have to do that before you can get laid with me, you are screwing yourself over, gentlemen. And here's the thing as we finish up. A woman always have to feel, whether she's your wife or not, she always have to feel that you have another option waiting for you. Anytime you make your woman feels like you're hers 100%, you've just screwed yourself. Yeah, I know every woman's going to come at me, but the second a woman knows that I got him, that's mine. That's when she thinks that I can do whatever I want with this now because this is mine. I can negotiate the sex. I can do whatever I want. Think about it, ladies. Before you were married, did you play around with this shit about holding sex away from him? No, you didn't, because he wasn't yours. He wasn't yours. You didn't lock him down yet. So you couldn't fuck around. You could not mess around. No. But the minute you got that freaking ring on your finger and that document signed, you think now, oh, he's mine. I can get fat if I want. I can do whatever. But gentlemen, if you start coming home late a few nights, if you start acting a little different, you don't even have to do anything. You don't even have to have another woman. Make it appear so. She asks a question about, well, where you been? I just been out. Just relax yourself. Turn over and go to sleep. That, my friend, is when she will realize, okay, I better get my ass back in order. Something's happening. The illusion or the reality depends on what you want to do. I'm not telling you what you should do, gentlemen. When that woman knows that you are no longer just sitting there waiting for her to open her legs and you have options, you are either about to exercise them or exercising them, that is when she will get her ass back in order. That, my friend, is the trick to solving your problem. Trust me on this one. Otherwise, you're going to go through hell. And the only other option, get out of the marriage. Do not stay in a sexless marriage. It brings way too much problems to you, my friend. It wreaks havoc on your sexual drive. It wreaks havoc on your masculinity. It wreaks havoc on your health, okay? Mental health. Women don't understand the ramifications of this. I've been trying for months to get my urologist to come on the podcast and talk to me about this. The problems that a lot of men go through when they don't have sex are huge, huge, physically and mentally. Women don't have those same problems, but men produce testosterone and men produce massive amounts of sperm every day. And if that isn't taken care of, you're in trouble, my friend. That's what you got to understand about life. Women don't care, or if it doesn't affect them, they don't understand it. They don't really care. So my friends, bottom line is, if you're in a marriage or in a long-term relationship, and ladies, your sex drive have dropped, or you no longer feel like having sex with your man, your husband, you better fix it or risk losing him. And I can tell you, a world without your husband at this point is not a pleasant one. Not pleasant at all. So don't play with it. Do not play with it. Being back out on these streets single, woo, it's not a pretty sight. I can tell you that. There's too many women right now. Any woman literally over 35 at this point are in dire straits, desperate to find a man. So you better fix what you have. That's all I'm saying to you. So my friends, listen, let's have a discussion over this. Come on over to the membership site. Let's have a even deeper discussion. All right. And of course, book a session with me if you have any other questions or if you have any problems in your relationship. So my friends, until next time, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.